about what's happening in the Bronx. 12 wins in a row for the New York Yankees, most since a couple of guys named Maris and Mantle did it a bunch of years ago. It is pretty wonderful. If you're a Yankee fan, Kevin Wildsall, what else you got for us?
Oh, I'll give you something else wonderful. We'll head up to Fenway. Red Sox playing the Twins. Chris Sale is back. Let's go to the third inning. Sale throws an immaculate inning. 3 strikeouts, 9 pitches. It was a very short inning, not as short as this. This was only 25 seconds. Red Sox win en route to a 12-2 victory. Starts getting out of hand, so we're going to stay here for the weird. This is also actually wonderful. Guess who's back? Back again, La Tortuga. 40-mile-per-hour pitch via codified baseball. 1.6 million called strikes on record. This is the 3rd slowest ever, but it is #1 in my heart. So that's the weird and wonderful from National Pastime.
La Tortuga back.
Honestly, that matters.
Oh, that's so wonderful.
Coach back with us. We got some breaking news this morning out of New Orleans. Adam Schefter reporting the Saints have named Jameis Winston the starting quarterback for this coming season, at least for Game 1, after a training camp battle with Taysom Hill. Jameis, who looked the part in their last preseason game, is going to be the guy. So, Nick, are the Saints making the right move, going with Jameis over Taysom?
Well, yeah, I mean, going with Jameis over Taysom, over Simeon, over Book, over the other 2 actual quarterbacks on the roster, yeah, definitely. I mean, listen, we just showed La Tortuga pitching. He's not a pitcher. We could show Taysom Hill playing quarterback. He's not a quarterback. You can do things that aren't your position for fun or to try him out or for novelty, and that's what Taysom Hill as a starting quarterback was always going to be. Taysom, and by the way, this is where the Saints are really fortunate, is that Jameis played well and that Jameis didn't, look terrible this preseason and they felt like their hand was forced. Because by Jameis playing quarterback, it allows you to play Taysom where he can actually help you as that utility, do-it-all type of player that might throw a few passes on trick plays. But Taysom Hill, as a starting quarterback in this league, was dead on arrival. And I didn't understand why Sean Payton wanted to pretend that wasn't the case. I didn't understand last year why he seemed committed when they were in a playoff push that they were going to start him over Jameis, even though thanks to their defense they won more of those games than they lost. But this was never a real battle in anyone's mind but Sean Payton's. And I'm glad, mercifully, Coach, that we can stop pretending that the Saints have a quarterback question. Jameis Winston is the only actual quarterback on their roster that has any chance of leading them to success with respect to Trevor Simeon, who is a 7th-round pick, made a nice career for himself, but you don't want him to be a starting quarterback. So, yeah, they're making the right decision.
Well, you're right in the sense that it does allow them to utilize probably the best skill sets of both guys, and Taysom as a change of pace guy coming in and being able to do the quarterback driven runs and create all the problems that we talk about when you've got a player like that and what that pressure it puts on opposing defenses. So that's good. And there's a lot of discussion now from the analytics side about the value of big plays, and obviously Jameis gives you the best potential to create big plays. And the thought process is that big plays are more important than turnovers, and I'm not sure that that's the case. I don't. Wow. It's hard for me to believe that's going to play out. And the success of this experiment is how much that Jameis has actually learned from his previous experience. When you throw 88 interceptions over the course of your career, when that's the thing that is continually making your team lose, and the reason that you had to change locations, you've got to get that corrected. Now it's hard for me to think of cases where a guy who threw or throws a lot of interceptions suddenly dramatically changes who he is. But hopefully for him and for the Saints that is the case. And I love the quote, you don't always have to be Batman. You can be Bruce Wayne. And if he lives that and takes the checkdowns and doesn't take the unnecessary chances, this could be a great thing for his career. It could be a great thing for the Saints. But it's one winning season in 5 years as a starter in a new location. doesn't bode well.
Adrian Martinez, complicated.
Excellent.
As
So,
off
Coach,
the bus are.
Absolute
I
treat
think
for us.
that
I'd ask you yours,
the common
but it's
idea here is like, hey, Jameis will start. We'll bring Taysom in, change of pace. It confuses the defense. The defensive coordinator has to plan a lot more. The Saints offense feels versatile. I'm not 100% sure that is going to work. If you were just in the middle of a quarterback battle, Jameis, number one pick, he started all the game. He hadn't started in a long time, but he's a starting quarterback. Am I just supposed to assume that Jameis, rhythm-wise, as he gets into it, is going to be cool or at least be at his best if Taysom's coming in and Taysom averaged 17 snaps with Drew Brees? That if Taysom starts getting 17 snaps with Jameis Winston, do we think that in a hunt to be versatile, that could actually hurt Jameis's rhythm as he's trying to, find some flow within the offense?
No, I don't think so. And Rodney Harrison's told me a long time ago that the league has a way of humbling you, and that's what's happened. He was the pick that he was, and he had the career that he's had so far, and he's had to go to a new place and establish himself. And this is one of those situations where he's got to. It's no longer about him being a number one draft choice or the starting quarterback. He's got to show that he can contribute to the team in a meaningful way and not put the team in bad situations by making poor decisions. And being able to use Taysom as a supplement to that, as a way to take reps off the opposing defense and in preparation for Jameis, that's a huge benefit. That is a significant benefit for Jameis to have. But it's also a very strong reminder that if you don't take care of the football, which is the most important thing you have to do in the NFL, then there is someone else that is going to come in and take care of the football, and having that consistently there is a good thing.
Yeah, except the only pushback I would have to that is who's that guy that's going to come in and take care of the football? Because it's not Taysom Hill. He's his sack and turnover machine. Like maybe it is Simeon. I'm the only guy talking about Trevor Simeon. It's me and his uncle that are like, hey, why wasn't he in this battle? But maybe that's who it is. But here's the other reality of it. This is interesting because Jameis was a number one pick and Heisman Trophy winner, and there are this kind of odd Taysom Hill stands out there. And because the Saints for the last 15 years have been a super relevant team. But that bill has now come due, and the Saints, no matter who won this quarterback battle, are going to be bad. Like, that's the other element of it. There's going to be a lot more Saints talk in the offseason than once the season gets going. They spent all that money, Coach, put it on the credit card, want to win one with Drew, we'll worry, the salary cap's fake, we'll push money down the road, we'll do voidable years, we'll do all this stuff. And now that roster is thin. They actually still have a decent amount of top-level players, but there will be injuries, and their second and third level guys are non-existent. Michael Thomas is still, we don't know when he's coming back after the week 1 injury he suffered. Like, this is a team that is not in a position to contend for anything this year. So I get why the hope is, hey, play Jameis, because if he learned from a year under Drew, learned from Sean Payton, got his eyes fixed, he's always had a bunch of talent. Because if Jameis can be a 15 interception guy, he's a good quarterback. I know that's more than you would like, but 15 you can handle. One turnover a game you can handle, given the fact that he has such a live arm. And so that's like what this year's about, figuring out if Jameis can be their quarterback moving forward, because they're not going to be a good football team this year.
Well, to your point about paying the bill, they do have to pay the bill, and eventually you have to make really tough decisions. But you say if it's 15 turnovers or 15 interceptions, that's one part of the equation. But it's also how many touchdowns is it? Is it 20 touchdowns and 15 interceptions? Or are we assuming that it's going to be a 30 touchdown, 15 interception? Yeah, it depends on what that ratio is. And his ratio has never been very, very good. And when you're a good team, it's hard to overcome turnovers. If you're not a good team, it's almost impossible to overcome turnovers. So if you feel like your defense is solid, if you feel like you can run the ball effectively and you can manage games, sometimes you have to do that in order to win. And look, I'm cheering for Jameis. I think that he's an exciting player. He's a likable guy. You want to see everybody get a second opportunity and take advantage of it. And the most important question he has to answer is if he's able to now fix this problem. And I really hope he is. Now, history tells you that guys tend to be who they are.
Not. Yep.
But to Nick's point, are you setting Jameis up to fail with the way that roster is set up and who they've got right now? We shall see. Hey, long road to the big game, just beginning. Which team is more likely to make it back to the Super Bowl this season, Chiefs or Bucks? Break it down.